What is going on, guys? How are we doing today? Today's date is November 29th, 2020. My name is Ryan Williams, and we are back with another video. Now, today's video, guys, is on a very important topic. As I've started making more content around stocks and investing, not just on YouTube, but on TikTok as well, I've realized that there is a lot of uncertainty and a lot of paralysis behind getting started investing in stocks. A lot of people are afraid to get into it because they don't want to lose money, but a lot of people are afraid to get into investing in stocks because they just don't know where to begin. And if that's you, then this video is for you. So in this video, guys, I'm going to walk you through how to get started investing with $0 right from scratch, right from the beginning, and hopefully by the end of this video you'll have all of the knowledge and all of the resources you'll need to get the ball rolling. And real quick, guys, before we get rocking and rolling in today's video, please do me a quick favor, hit that thumbs up button, hit that like button, let me know if you're excited to get started with investing. Anyway, thank you for doing that. Now, without further ado, let's get into it. Alright, guys, so today's video is going to go a little bit different. I actually created a slideshow for this video, so that's what I'm going to be referring to throughout this video, and I'm going to put that on the screen right now. Let's get into it, guys. How to invest with $0. So like I said, this video is intended to show you how to start investing from scratch without any experience. This should give you all the high-level basic info you need to know to get rocking and rolling. So, how to invest with $0, start from scratch in 2021. Are you ready? Let's go for it. So first off, congratulations. This is a great decision. I'm super excited for you guys that you have decided to jump in and start investing in stocks. It is a really cool thing and can really just change your life down the road. And so hats off to you for realizing this and deciding to get going, because you will thank yourself down the road for it. I promise you guys. And also, you're gonna have a lot of fun along the way. It's gonna teach you so many valuable things. So before you start investing, guys, there are a few things you need to keep in mind as you go throughout your journey. Number one, there is a certain amount of risk involved in investing. And I know this is a big reason why some people are afraid or hesitant to invest in stocks, because they realize that risk, so that's good. But one of the, I think, great misconceptions about investing in stocks is that it is very risky. In my opinion and in my experience, that is not the case. While there is some risk involved, I do believe it is a calculated risk. And if you take the time to research the companies you're buying into, you can really mitigate that risk and ensure that, or rather increase the likelihood that you're going to not lose money, but actually gain money. And that's the whole purpose here. So keep in mind there is some risk involved, but it's really not as bad as you think. We're not investing in penny stocks like shady companies, sketchy companies. We're gonna be investing in blue chip, big, recognizable companies, household names like Starbucks, Apple, Coca-Cola, those kind of companies. All right, so number two, the second thing you're gonna wanna remember here is patience is key, guys. When you're investing in the stock market, you should know that you're investing for down the road, not tomorrow, not next week, but 5 years from now, 10 years from now, 20, 30, 40 years down the road. That's what you're investing for today. So delayed gratification is a huge component to investing in stocks, and it requires a lot of patience. So just keep this in mind as you go throughout your journey. Number three is do what you can, guys. I know it is so easy to get down on yourself for not having a ton of money to invest. And I know that's actually a big reason a lot of people don't get started, is because they feel like they don't have enough to contribute. But just know that is not the case. And some investing is absolutely better than no investing. I don't care if you can only set aside $5 a week or $5 a day. Whatever it is, just do what you can. And the last thing to remember about investing, guys, is make it fun. It should be fun. If you don't make it fun for yourself and enjoy doing it and enjoy going through the journey and the process, it's just gonna seem like a headache. It's gonna be much harder for you to adhere to, and it's gonna make it harder for you to stay in the game. And remember, patience is key. All right, now moving on. Before you put any money into any stocks, it is first important to realize what your goals are with investing and how you're going to do it. What's your strategy behind that? So let's start with your goals, and we can call this your why. Why are you investing? Why are you deciding to set aside money for down the road? And there are a few possible reasons you might want to do that. Number one is for financial independence. Whether at a young age or an old age, financial independence is a great goal and a great reason to start investing. Now, this could mean you want to retire from your 9 to 5, get out of the rat race as soon as you can, and maybe you're investing more than the average person, or maybe you're just investing for your retirement, you know, when you're 65, 70 years old, and that's what you're investing for. But nonetheless, you're investing for financial independence, and you want to have the money you make from investing as your income. Number two, life events. So this could be like saving for a college fund, or maybe you just had a kid, you want to set aside some money for them for their future. I guess that could go into the college fund category, but stuff like that would be considered a life event. Number three, rainy day lifestyle. So maybe you're saving for something. Maybe you're saving for a vacation. Maybe you are saving for a new car. Maybe you're saving for just to have some extra money set aside for whatever the heck you want. But that's another good reason to get into investing. And investing money is going to yield much better results than just letting it sit in a savings or a checking account. And just keep in mind, guys, this is my opinion right here. You can take it or leave it, but the minimum horizon for whatever your investing goal is should be at least 5 years. And what I mean by that is you should plan to invest consistently for 5 years before even pulling any money out of your investment account. Now let's move on to strategy, the what and the how you're going to invest. So the first thing you want to decide on is your schedule. So how much can you invest, and how often can you invest that amount? So what that looks like for me, and this is what I recommend to other people, is figure out whatever you can contribute each month depending on your budget. And then what I would do from there is I would just divvy that up by 4 and then invest that amount every single week. So for example, if you decide you can invest $100 a month, set aside $25 a week and put that into the stock market. The next thing you're going to want to decide is how involved of an investor do you want to be? Do you want to be more of a set it and forget it? I don't even want to think about it. That's more of a hands-off investor. Or do you want to be more hands-on? Do you want to be more involved? Do some research on the stocks you're buying. Choose each individual stock. How much is going into that stock? That kind of stuff. If you are someone who's just starting out with investing, or maybe someone who's not quite interested in it yet, but know that it's something you should do, you might lean towards being more of a hands-off investor, and that's totally fine. I personally enjoy investing and researching the stocks that I buy and the ETFs that I buy, so I've progressed more into a hands-on investor, but believe me, I started off very hands-off. Didn't want to touch it, I just wanted it to grow. But as I progressed through my investing journey, I've come to enjoy it more. I'm having much more fun with it because I think I know more about how to do it. So that's makes it more fun. And so naturally I've become more of a hands-on, more of an involved investor. So, and the next point is the setup here. So how many stocks do you want to have? What's a good number? This is where a lot of people get lost. Not only do they not know what stocks they should be buying, but how many different stocks they should have. If you're just starting out, guys, don't overcomplicate it. I would choose 5 to 10 different stocks or ETFs for you to invest in as a beginner, and then you can grow and expand from there. And what kind of stocks? I mentioned this earlier, but we're not investing into like penny stocks, shady companies. Just start off investing in companies that you know. Start with the Apples, start with the Amazons, the Starbuckses, the Teslas, household names that you recognize, companies that are going to be around for a while, McDonald's, Coca-Cola. And the reason you're going to want to do this is because these are more secure companies. You can rest assured that these companies are going to be around for a longer period of time. I mean, McDonald's isn't going out of business anytime soon. Starbucks is not going out of business, guys. Coca-Cola, are you kidding me? They're going to be around for a while. And so if that is true, you know, it's pretty likely that you're going to probably make some money if you buy into those stocks or companies like that. Because historically, as these companies stick around, the only way to stick around and to stay in business is to just keep growing. And so, you know, if that's true, then companies like this are a pretty safe bet. And that really helps mitigate the risk of losing your money. You might lose a few bucks, but historically, guys, the stock market has just gone up over time. So if you hang in there long enough, you are bound to make money. And like I said, patience is key. But if you can be patient, you're gonna make some money. Hopefully this is making sense so far, guys. I know this is a lot of information. If you have any questions about anything you see in this video, just please leave me a comment below. I'll be more than happy to answer it. All right, guys, now once you have your goals and your strategy figured out, you can then move on to the next step and choose a brokerage. Now, a brokerage is essentially the platform that you're going to be investing in. So who are you going to choose to host your investment account? And you have a few really good options. And just a little side note before I reveal these, you can always change platforms too. It's kind of a pain in the butt, but if you're not happy with one platform, you are certainly free to change. So let's get into this right here. So if you want to be more of a hands-off investor, just kind of invest on autopilot, not want to think about it too much, there are a couple good brokerages I recommend, and I've used both of these before as well. The first of which is Acorns. And at this point, I'm sure if you've done any research on investing, you have heard of Acorns. And Acorns is a great brokerage when you're just starting out. When I first started investing on my own, Acorns is the first platform that I used, and I really liked it because when I first started out, I was very hands-off. I didn't know what I was doing and I didn't want to think about it. And what Acorns does is you just invest the money and they decide what they're going to invest in for you based on how aggressive you want to be with your investing. And essentially, once you invest into Acorns, they invest your money into different Vanguard ETFs, which are pretty stable, pretty secure. It's not sexy, it's not that fun, but it is hands-off, and you'll probably make a decent return. Those perform very well. And so Acorns is a great brokerage. It's a great platform if you just want to get your feet wet with investing, but aren't too sure you want to take on the responsibility of choosing all of your stocks. Now, if you want to kick it up a notch and want to be a little bit more hands-on than Acorns, want to choose some stocks, but still kind of want to have the training wheels on or the bumpers up if you're a bowling fan, which I doubt any of you are. Something about it, I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is, but I just don't like doing it. Okay, anyway, if you want to keep the training wheels on, have a little more options, you'll go with Stash. Now, Stash, you can still automate a lot of your investing, but you have some more options as to where you can put your money. So Stash gives you the ability to invest into different ETFs based on sector or based on your interest, but you can also choose individual blue chip companies, like the ones we mentioned earlier, Starbucks, Apple, Coca-Cola. You can choose those companies within Stash. If you plan to be more of a hands-on investor, want to be more involved, choose your stocks, choose where your money's going, there are some really great brokerages that you can put your money into. So the first one, no surprise that I started with this, is Robinhood. This is the platform that I currently use. As you can see on the screen, Robinhood is a bare bones platform. The interface is very clean. It's easy to navigate through as a beginner investor, which I still consider myself somewhat of a beginner, maybe more intermediate at this point, but I still like the interface and the usability of Robinhood. You can also really automate the process just like with those hands-off platforms. You can set up recurring deposits and recurring investments, so you can have a certain amount of money go into a certain stock every single week or every single month. And another reason Robinhood is great is because you can trade for free. There are no monthly fees, there are no commissions that you pay for each trade, and the same cannot be said for Acorns or Stash. There is a service fee or a monthly management fee on those apps. It's very small, it maybe is like $1, but Robinhood is completely free and gives you all the functions and all the bells and whistles you need to be a hands-on investor. The next hands-on brokerage I'd recommend is M1 Finance. M1 Finance has something that's different from these other brokerages. Theirs is more of a, it's almost like a pie chart right here. And you can essentially set it so, for example, like I want 5% going into this stock every week. I want 5% going into this stock. I want 20% going into this stock. And you can basically fill up that pie to 100%. And like Robinhood, it is also free. And the interface is a little bit different. I haven't messed with M1 Finance at all, but it looks pretty clean. If I was going to be switching from Robinhood, I would certainly consider M1 Finance as another option. All right, guys, and then the next brokerage I want to talk about is Webull. And real quick, these three hands-on brokerages right here, Robinhood, M1 Finance, and Webull, are probably the most common three brokerages that I see people on YouTube, on TikTok, basically people who put out content around this stuff. These are the three brokerages I see them using the most. The main draw to each of these is just just whatever interface that you feel suits you best. Like I said, Robinhood is bare bones. There's not much to it. Very easy to navigate through. M1 Finance, a little bit more difficult to navigate through from what I've seen, but they do have the pie investing function, which is also very helpful. And then last but not least, Webull. Webull seems to be the most technical, has the most insights, analytics, news, stuff like that on the stocks that you're buying, and is probably best suited for someone who is a little more advanced and at least knows more of the terminology as it relates to investing. But one of the good things about Webull, just like the other two platforms, is that it is commission-free trading, so that's always a plus. And then the last one that I want to talk about, guys, is Charles Schwab. Brokerages like Charles Schwab, Fidelity Investments, TD Ameritrade, brokerages like that, they are, from what I've seen, not as easy to use. The interface is a little bit more wonky. It's not as clean as ones like Robinhood or M1 Finance or Webull, but these brokerages are more established. They have been around longer, so they can be looked at as being more secure places to put your money compared to newer companies like Robinhood, M1 Finance, or Webull. So that might be one reason you would consider going with a brokerage like Charles Schwab versus the other 3 or the other 5 that I've mentioned. Like I said, it's totally your preference. I personally have not had any issues with Robinhood, but I know that others have. And like I said, guys, choosing your brokerage, it just comes down to your preference. And if you want to try one, great. If you want to try them all, great. Just know it is a pain in the butt if you do switch. So do a little research, watch some more YouTube videos on these different platforms, and just get a lay of the land and check out that interface for yourself, and see what you think, and then choose your brokerage just based on what you think is going to suit you the best. Okay, the fun part, choosing your stocks. So when it comes to stocks that you can buy, guys, there's typically like 2 different kinds of stocks that you can buy into. There's growth stocks, which you see right here, and there's dividend stocks. We'll get into dividend stocks in just a moment. Compared to dividend stocks, growth stocks seem to be more volatile, so they go up and down quicker. There's more volatility. And with that said, because there's more volatility or more risk behind growth stocks, when they do go up, there are better returns than if you were to invest in dividend stocks. The upside to investing in growth stocks is that the stock price can appreciate, so we call that capital appreciation. Basically, that just means the price of the shares that you own is going up. Some examples of that would be companies like Apple, Tesla, Amazon. There's tons and tons more, but these are just some big ones. All right, now moving on to dividend stocks. Dividend stocks compared to growth stocks are usually less volatile, so they don't go up and down as severely, as quickly. They're not as aggressive of an investment as, certain growth stocks might be. So the benefit to investing in dividend stocks over growth stocks is, while you might not get as high of a return investing in a dividend stock as you would in a growth stock, you will be receiving consistent cash flow from your dividend stocks in the form of dividends. That adds to the upside of dividend stocks. So like growth stocks, these dividend stocks do appreciate in value, so the share price of these stocks obviously can go up. And with that, you can also intake some cash flow that you can then reinvest into those dividend stocks to buy more. Some examples of dividend stocks include AT&T, Bank of America, and Johnson & Johnson. In fact, these are 3 really great dividend stocks. So anyway, guys, this is the difference between growth stocks and dividend stocks. And as you go throughout your investing journey, you will naturally come to realize which kind of style or which kind of stock you like investing in more. All right, guys, now that we have talked about the difference between growth stocks and dividend stocks, I'd like to touch a little bit on investing in individual stocks versus investing in ETFs, which may or may not be a term that you've heard before. If not, it's okay. We're about to cover it here. So let me actually just get through all these points right here. I don't want to cover them individually just yet. Let's get to ETFs first. I probably should have been smarter about this when planning this slideshow, but that's okay. So essentially what ETFs are, guys, for example, let's say this mug right here is an ETF. Inside this mug are a ton of different stocks: Starbucks, Apple, Coca-Cola, ExxonMobil. Anyway, let's say there's 20, 50, 100 different stocks inside this mug. instead of me buying each of those individual companies one by one, I can just buy the entire mug, and then I'm buying into all those stocks at once. So this is what's called an ETF. And like I said, it's just essentially buying into a bundle of stocks at once. And there are some pros and cons to doing this versus just buying into one company at a time. So stocks, as I mentioned, you're just buying into one company. ETFs, you're buying into a bundle of companies. And with stocks, because you're just buying into one company, you're probably going to want to do some more research, as there is some greater risk involved, because if that one company goes up, it goes up. If it goes down, that one company goes down. With ETFs, they typically are comprised of maybe 50 to 100 different companies at one time. There is less risk involved, because if one of those companies goes down, that's okay, because it can be offset by the gains of the other companies in that ETFs. Obviously, the same cannot be said with stocks. If it goes down, it goes down. And so there's definitely greater risk investing in individual stocks, but with that said, there's also greater reward. And ETFs are typically professionally managed, so you have less control over what you're investing in. You're just buying that ETF, and whatever's in it is in it. As opposed to stocks, you can decide, I want to buy this company, I don't want to buy this company. Anyway, that's kind of the difference between stocks and ETFs. I personally have a mixture of both in my portfolio. All right, guys, now I know we have covered a lot of information so far today, but stick with me. We are almost done, and this is the fun part, I think. What I've done is I've gone through and made a few different example portfolios. Starting with this one right here, this is a very balanced portfolio consisting of both some growth stocks and some dividend stocks. So in this portfolio, we have Apple, we have HD, which is Home Depot, we have JP Morgan, we have Microsoft, and we have VTI, which is a Vanguard Total Market Index ETF. So basically it's an ETF that covers the entire stock market. And what I've done is I've put these 5 stocks into the portfolio visualizer, which you've probably seen in some of my videos before. If not, check this out right here. So over the last 10 years, investing $100 a month into this portfolio would yield you $50,000, $50,805. Moving on to the second example portfolio, it's going to be more dividend focused. We have Johnson & Johnson, 3M, AT&T, Philip Morris, and Coca-Cola, all great, safe dividend stocks. And if you would have invested $100 a month starting in 2010 into this portfolio right here, today you would have $20,548. Now, I know that doesn't sound like a lot in comparison to that previous portfolio, but what the portfolio visualizer does not take into account is dividends that are paid or reinvested. So don't forget, with this, you do have some cash flow coming in. I'm not exactly sure how much, but it's definitely going to increase the value of this portfolio, I would say substantially. And then lastly, we've got a growth portfolio, so a portfolio that is comprised solely of growth stocks. And I probably didn't do too great of a job of diversifying this portfolio because all of these are basically tech stocks, but we have Apple, Facebook, Tesla, T-Mobile, and Amazon. Now, if you were to invest $100 a month into this portfolio, I would say starting in 2010, but we have to start in 2013 because some of these stocks weren't available to buy in 2010. But if you were to invest $100 a month into this portfolio starting in 2013, today you would have $51,513. Which, if you remember, that first balanced portfolio only had like $50,805. So in 3 less years, this actually outperformed that balanced portfolio. The last thing I want to leave with you guys is this page right here. These are all some great resources for you guys to turn to if you want to learn more about investing, especially YouTube. I can't tell you guys how much time I spend learning on YouTube and how much I've learned from watching YouTube videos. It's crazy. And I'm sure if you're like me, I mean, especially since you're watching this video on YouTube, you are probably a YouTube learner yourself. And if you are, I recommend any of those 6 YouTube channels, and there are a ton more. These are just some of my favorites that I watch on a regular basis. All right, guys, well, that pretty much wraps up this video. Like I said, I know there was a ton of information in this video. I hope it wasn't too much, and I hope it made sense for all you guys. And if there's any questions on anything that you saw today, please don't hesitate to reach out. Leave me a comment below. I would love to answer any and all of your questions. With that said, I hope you guys got something out of this video. By now, you should have enough information to get rocking and rolling and get started investing. If you're still a little nervous, if you're still a little wary to get started, please don't worry, you will be okay. Just get started. Put 10 bucks in, put 20 bucks in. Worst case scenario, even if the stocks you choose go to zero, you're out 20 bucks. But if you're investing in these blue chip companies, in these reputable stocks, like I mentioned, that's not gonna be the case. You'll probably make some money. And if that's true, don't wait, get started right now. With that said, guys, I will get out of your hair. I hope you guys have a great day. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video. If you haven't done so already and you enjoyed this video, please give it a like. Please hit that subscribe button. I'm really trying hard to grow this channel, and any sort of engagement like that really helps the performance of these videos and gets it exposed to more people. So thank you so much for doing that. I will see you guys in the next video. Have a great day.